Tales of Herding Gods Episode 68. In the previous episode, Qin Mu and his companions journeyed aboard Fan Yunxiao's lightning-fast cloud-chasing pirate ship. Though the crafty bandit-turned-pilot bragged about his honest work, his mind clearly still leaned toward robbery rather than business. When they finally reached the capital, Qin Mu declined Fan Yunxiao's offer to join his profitable ventures, choosing instead to return to Imperial College. There, he met an unexpected sight: the dragon Qilin, once owned by Patriarch. Abandoned and hungry, the mighty creature now lingered at the mountain gate like a lonely guard dog turned to stone. Moved by pity, Qin Mu decided to adopt him. Though feeding a creature that consumes buckets of Scarlet Fire Spirit Pills each day would soon test both his wallet and his patience. And so, as Qin Mu set foot once more within Imperial College, with a dragon Qilin trailing behind and Hu Linger sighing over the growing expenses. And the story continues. The dragon Qilin drank the water and looked towards Qin Mu. "I'm still a little hungry." Qin Mu smiled and said he would bring the dragon Qilin to refine some pills. Together they walked toward the warehouse to buy herbs. Across Jade Dragon Lake, a Taoist noticed them and muttered in confusion about the dragon Qilin. Wasn't that the stone guardian from the mountain gate? And who was that young man daring to let it drink from the royal lake? Still, since they didn't bathe in it, he decided to let it pass. As Qin Mu and the dragon Qilin walked by royalty's park, they heard loud cheers and the sounds of battle. Curious, Qin Mu glanced over and saw a crowd gathered: scholars, divine arts practitioners, and even nobles. A thunderous boom shook the air as someone was flung high, crashing headfirst into the ground. Qin Mu recognized him as a prince. A moment later, another explosion followed, and a young woman in green smashed into the wall of the Hall of Hidden Light, only her legs sticking out. Qin Mu noted the fighting style. It looked very much like Chancellor Ba Shan's battle spell techniques, where martial skill and spellcraft merged into one seamless art. He wondered if the fighter was Ling Yusho, and why she was fighting with the princes and princesses. But with the dragon Qilin so hungry he could hardly walk, Qin Mu decided to continue to the warehouse first. There, he bought herbs and quickly refined a furnace of Scarlet Fire Spirit Pills as they walked. The dragon Qilin devoured them instantly and still wasn't full, so Qin Mu refined another batch until the creature was finally satisfied. Revived, the dragon Qilin proudly declared he was good at fighting, though Hu Linger, perched nearby, mocked him for once being too scared to fight a bull. When they returned to royalty's park, the crowd was even larger. Scholars whispered excitedly about the seventh princess, Ling Yusho, whose skills had improved so greatly after returning from her travels that no one in the park could defeat her. Some speculated she might even challenge the gates of Scholars' Residence or Divine Arts Residence, though many doubted she could beat the so-called Devil of Scholars' Residence. Suddenly, a commotion rose as the massive dragon Qilin began pushing his way through the packed crowd, scattering scholars like leaves in the wind. Terrified faces turned as the creature cleared a wide path. Even the royal nobles inside royalty's park stared in awe. The dragon Qilin turned back with a grin, saying, "Young master, these visually impaired people have cleared the way for you." Qin Mu sighed and scolded him for being too flamboyant before politely excusing himself through the frozen crowd. Inside the park, he saw Ling Yusho mid-battle against Prince Minyu. Her 5 elements divine treasure was sealed, yet she fought with explosive force. Within a few moves, she overwhelmed her opponent, sending him flying. Then she burst open her divine treasure, and 9 luminous dragons coiled around her body, radiating vigor and confidence. Qin Mu marveled. Her strength had soared since the journey to Roland's Golden Palace. Clearly, Chancellor Ba Shan had trained her well, guiding her to stabilize her once uneven foundation. But looking around at the wrecked park, Qin Mu couldn't help thinking she had also grown rather violent. Then Ling Yusho spotted him. Her eyes brightened. "The one who herds cows," she called joyfully. Ending her fight, she smiled at the royals, promising to spar again another day, and hurried toward Qin Mu. He praised her rapid progress, but she quickly scolded him for disappearing so long, saying she'd been worried. then added that even Chancellor Ba Shan had worried about him. She explained that the Grand Chancellor had resigned, replaced by the man once sealed in ice, rescued from the surging River Dragon Palace, Gu Linyuan. Qin Mu's heart stirred at the name. Seeing the many watching eyes around them, Ling Yusho whispered that they should speak privately. Qin Mu agreed, but as they turned to go, a young man appeared before them, handsome, stern-faced, clearly displeased. "Seventh sister," he said, "how can you bring a man into your room? We'll talk in my room instead." Ling Yusho flushed and agreed softly. The man, Ling Yushu, the second prince, gestured curtly. "Scholar Qin, please." Qin Mu followed, puzzled by the prince's hostility. Ling Yushu's residence was refined and elegant, like a miniature palace with flowing water, gardens, and attentive palace maids who were themselves skilled divine arts practitioners. The air was perfumed with incense, and the faint sound of a guqin played somewhere nearby, its slow, thoughtful notes evoking calm. "Second prince sure has a refined taste," Qin Mu remarked. Ling Yushu's expression eased slightly. He thanked Qin Mu sincerely for protecting his sister during her journey, acknowledging her tales of how Qin Mu had saved her many times. Ling Yusho beamed, adding that she had cried when she thought Qin Mu had died outside Roland's Golden Palace, causing her brother's expression to twitch slightly. Then she continued brightly, telling how she had even met Qin Mu's elders, who were pleased with her, which made Ling Yushu's eyebrow twitch again. She went on, full of excitement, about Chancellor Ba Shan's teaching methods and her newfound strength, boasting that if he took her and Qin Mu out again for training, even her brother might not be able to defeat her. Ling Yushu gently dampened her enthusiasm, saying he had heard Ba Shan would be taking other scholars next time. Ling Yusho's face fell with disappointment. Changing the subject, Ling Yushu turned to Qin Mu. "Father has appointed Gu Linyuan as the new Grand Chancellor," he said, "and I hear you have some enmity with him. Gu Linyuan has already inquired about you. It would be best if you returned his junior protector sword and made peace. He is a petty man and might cause you trouble now that he holds power." Ling Yusho laughed lightly, reminding her brother that Qin Mu had once tricked Gu Linyuan out of that sword, which explained the grudge. But Ling Yushu persisted. "He's a devil path master, vengeful and narrow-minded. I can arrange a meeting for you both to settle this matter. For my sake, he may let bygones be bygones." Qin Mu shook his head. "In the Great Ruins," he said evenly, "we have a rule. If you were tricked, you don't get your things back." Ling Yushu smiled faintly. "But this isn't the Great Ruins. He's the Grand Chancellor now, and it would be easy for him to take revenge on you." Qin Mu thought for a moment, then replied, "I heard Gu Linyuan call himself the junior protector of the Crown Prince. That means he was once the prince's teacher. Yes? So tell me, second prince, do you think he'll really give you face?" The prince's expression shifted, a flicker of unease crossing his eyes. Qin Mu continued calmly, "If he's truly willing to resolve this grudge, I can return the junior protector sword, breaking even the rule of the Great Ruins. But I feel that even if I do, he still won't respect you, nor let the matter rest. Furthermore, second prince, aren't you worried he might make things difficult for you as well?" And that wraps up this episode. In this part, we saw Qin Mu return to Imperial College with the dragon Qilin, a creature once thought to be a mere stone guardian. As the dragon Qilin struggled with hunger, Qin Mu displayed his growing mastery in alchemy, refining Scarlet Fire Spirit Pills to restore its strength. Meanwhile, the royalties' park became a battleground where Princess Ling Yusho showcased her newfound power, defeating princes and scholars alike with her fusion of battle techniques and spell arts, skills inspired by Chancellor Ba Shan's teachings. Her improvement since the journey to Roland's Golden Palace was clear, showing both her diligence and her fiery personality. When Qin Mu and Yusho reunited, their bond deepened through mutual respect and shared memories. However, tension rose with the arrival of Ling Yusho's protective brother, Prince Ling Yushu, who revealed troubling news. The new Grand Chancellor was none other than Gu Linyuan, Qin Mu's old enemy. Their conversation hinted at looming political danger and personal conflict, as Qin Mu cleverly questioned whether even the prince could trust this newly appointed official. This episode explored not just strength and skill, but also loyalty, politics, and the growing web of relationships around Qin Mu. It set the stage for deeper intrigue and future confrontations in the empire. If you enjoyed this episode or found it interesting, don't forget to like the video and subscribe to the channel to get updates on the latest episodes following Qin Mu's journey. Thank you for watching, and see you in the next video.